Hello there folks, welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics on spirituality, introspection, analysis of video games and dreams as well, and different other topics that I might find interesting to answer for different people whom I see struggling with different answers, or they simply don't feel ready to accept those, or they just need someone else to give them a point of view. Now the topic of this video would be a few things that you should do and or should not do in the upcoming quarantine that is definitely gonna strike around September, October, because of course another lockdown is gonna approach. Okay, now in this period of time the only thing that you should do is focus on yourself. Of course, there are numerous distractions, and with people all locked down, you have to understand that the mass media and everything else of this falling, crumbling matrix will just constantly fight to keep you distracted. You will start actually seeing more and more paranormal activity, more and more even UFO activity and things like this, because all of these things are slowly gonna be revealed. People are gonna realize who and what was behind the cunt virus infestation and why it was all being set up for like even 100 years before, and well, why such plans were taken into account. Yes, many people will manifest hatred towards this, but you have to understand it's nothing else than an orchestration of the universe. Nothing happens without the universe's permission. So you have to simply understand that all these are happening so that we as a race keep developing and manage to successfully uncover as much as possible from within ourselves and within our own true authentic selves. Okay, so some of the things you should do when this lockdown hits, well, one of the first things is that you should focus primarily on stocking some food. Okay, food that is not easily disposable. Okay, it's not perishable, because there will be moments when even the lights will be, the electricity will be cut off, because it is going to be a very not necessarily aggressive, but it's gonna be quite direct, you know shaking of the people who are fully asleep, right? And once the internet fails, okay, once the social media start failing, okay, because they will shut down sooner or later, you have to understand that even the internet will be cut off, because there will be a period in which people will be forced not to communicate in between themselves, and without electricity the entirety of society will be very vulnerable. Okay, there will be a lot of exploits, there can be a lot of human trafficking and all sorts of ideas, so make sure you leave your house as little as possible. It will be a period of time in which you will need to be as mentally strong as possible, so take care of yourself, do some sports, buy yourself some equipment that will allow you to have or do some exercise at home, and whatever happens, just focus on yourself. Everything else is a distraction. Okay, the upcoming periods, the upcoming years will be very difficult, so in case you are thinking about a marriage, it's high time you realize that you can also cope without the official act of marriage. Marriage in the end is nothing else than a form of bondage. It is an occult ritual, not necessarily regarding the occult societies, but it is a ritual that binds certain people into needy mode, right, into codependency, and invites all sorts of parasitic entities to exploit even more their necessities, because you have to understand, people who are not aware of things, they are just like chess pawns that are being played by parasitic entities. That is why so many people may end up in ideas, fights, quarrels, or even relationships with people who don't serve them, and parasites feed off of different states like hatred, repulsion, and the more they get control over that respective person, the more they will have that person get in contact with other people that these parasites influence, and they will always match them in such a way that they will be incompatible, so that they always quarrel, and well, they always serve as a feeding ground for these beings. Okay, so one thing is to always become more introspective, always start doing shadow work, and the only way you can make peace with whatever is shattering you, with whatever is splintering you, is to actually integrate that within you. The problem is everything in this world is taught in reverse, because the truth can only be realized. It can never be taught, else you end up being a little tyrant. Okay, so you have to understand that whatever you feel that you want to reject, you actually have to integrate that within yourself, because it is, and irrespective of what you do, it will always remain a part of yourself. So as long as you simply run away from that, that's not gonna be solved. The problem will still remain, and worse than that, you're still gonna feed that problem, you're gonna make it worse, and also you're gonna feed the parasitic entities that thrive, and they feast upon the pain that you're inflicting upon yourself. Okay, so try to give up anything that would have you give up on too much money. This is a period in which you should invest in yourself and yourself only, not on activities that you may not need, because you can take a holiday, you can take a vacation and go abroad, like even in 1 or 2 years, when the pandemic is over. Now the point about this is, the global plans are to keep you in lockdown, and with mandatory face masks, like forever. And these face masks are kind of exactly like governmental officialized muzzles, those things that you put to dogs so that they don't bark, right? It's a way of saying shut up, right? Be quiet and sit down. So this is something really, really serious that you have to take as lightly as possible. The planet is evolving at a faster pace. You will see that your dreams will get freakier, your dreams will get much more advanced. So this is a time in which you do everything possible to increase your awareness and to improve your psychological dimension. This is something that is critical, because you will need, this is all gonna be a mind game, and everything that you will need is to be as aware as possible. Refuse any kind of vaccination, any kind of thing that will lead to your alteration, because this is the last ditch effort of a falling system. It's, as I said, a huge star that collapsed into a black hole that's now seeking to feast upon anything that is naive enough, or that's still too close within its grasp. Okay, so all this being said, another thing that you should postpone or avoid is having children, because they will be born in a period that they are not gonna be well fed. You're gonna need each and every resource, you're gonna need to relax, because if a lockdown occurs and you're gonna get fined if you are caught outside your house, the only thing you can do is give up all distractions, give up television, and just become introspective. You'll have to learn how to meditate, probably even days on end, because the more calm you stay, the less you'll need to eat, so you can actually resist without starving for longer periods of time. You have to give up urges, impulses, right? Learn to sit straight and make peace with your urges, because people, when you have them stay somewhere, they just always have an itch, they always have an urge to do something, right? Learn to be like the cow. The reason why the cow, for example, is sacred in India is because the cow is the only animal that has no urges. Okay, so long as you give it some grass so that it eats, it just lives life to the fullest. That's what it means to perceive the universe from the the perception, the awareness of the cow. Okay, that's what a cow does best. Okay, it lives life to the fullest. Okay, it can only live life and like constantly meditate. You can easily see that even in the way they are grazing. Okay, so another thing you should quit is toxic aspects, right? Stop drinking coffee, because it makes you hyper active, and it chokes your brain with dopamine. quit smoking and any other habits that are damaging to you, because they are forcing you to remain a slave in the matrix, right? Avoid using or eating things that lower your awareness, like eating junk food or using too much toothpaste that has different toxins that calcify your pineal gland. Conduct some sorts of detoxing, right? Do sun gazing if you can from the window, right? Because it will allow your pineal gland to decalcify, and it will allow you in time to become more introspective and receive messages from the universe much easier, right? Learn how to meditate, learn how to do probably some yoga. If the internet is going to be cut down, make sure that you save all the videos that you may need. Okay, save them to portable hard drive, so that if such an event would happen, you have a lot of things to see, right? And keep practicing the things that you want. Hopefully they're not related to computers, because if electricity falls, well, there's not gonna be any further development on that. But other than that, remove any other sorts of addictions like pornography, right? And different other things, okay? Like masturbation, for example. Masturbation in itself is not a bad thing, but you have to understand that the semen, okay, is the most compact protein in the whole world, okay? It is as compact as venom. That is why the snakes that are venomous, they will only use that as a means of defense, because they value that venom more than they value your life. Because once they release that, it's exactly like you release your semen. It takes so much effort to recreate at least part of it. That is why you feel like shit afterwards. Masturbation is a mutual process, because there are entities that are guiding you and, well, theoretically forcing you to accept that, and you're willingly accepting to masturbate, and they're freeloading their negativity into you, while you are trading your beautiful positive energy with those. And that is why when you release, you're gonna feel like shit after a while, because those beings have like ditched their negativity into you, and your body will have to go through a very long process of recreating the semen. And it's also gonna take a long time to purge some of that negativity that you have acquired, right? And you will feel very free, because those entities no longer need you. They have farmed you, and they will come back later. That is why you will start feeling horny after a certain while. So all this being said, these are just a few things to take into account. I really want this video to be very, very short. Take care of yourselves. Find ways to become better, to improve yourself, right? And to make a greater relationship with yourself. You are loved and appreciated as usual. Take care. Ferenc Board signing out.